What's up, all you Howard Hughes loving dudes and dudettes? Toyshiz here, and I'm back yet again to give you guys another fresh look courtesy of my friends over at Diamond Select Toys, and this is their brand new Rocketeer action figure, one that I have really been looking forward to ever since it was announced last year at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Fingers crossed for SDCC 2020 happening, right? But this Rocketeer is just something that means a lot to me. I love the movie as a kid, love the packaging on this. Yes, it's got that big, huge clamshell that they are known for. It's a lot of packaging, I'm just saying, but at least the graphics are very nice. On the backside, you get a nice look at the figure, and it looks really nice and crisp. You get a look at the helmeted, unhelmeted. I will say this, Diamond Select, I think you should have packaged him as a helmeted version of the Rocketeer. Just saying, here is a bio for the Rocketeer, and it was designed by Yuri Taming and sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. Really, I want to see the weathering on this helmet. It looks as good as it does in the pictures, and I am excited, just really excited to have a new Rocketeer figure, especially growing up with a little Bendham Rocketeer, for those of you who remember. And as part of this video, we will be looking at the Funko Rocketeer and how it measures up in accordance to this new Diamond Select one. And for everyone wondering, if you would like to pre-order one of these guys, it should be shipping rather soon, you know, with everything, all the craziness going on. Non-essentials have been kind of thwarted here and there, but it should be hopefully done and said soon, we'll just say, but you can order them off of Amazon. There is also a Walgreens version. It's a smaller packed version, less accessories. I don't recommend going out in any way, shape, or form unless you have to go to Walgreens for prescription or essentials food or work, something like that. But I will say this, sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is the brand new Diamond Select, the Rocketeer action figure, and who Rocketeers best. And here's old Cliff Secord out of the packaging, and I'm absolutely blown away by the amount of accessories that comes with this guy. Originally, you know, kind of seeing the Walgreens version first and all that, I was like, oh, wasn't expecting all of this, so I was pleasantly surprised. But dang, I will say this, without getting in the articulation anything just now, this is a really nice looking figure. It's what I want to see for the Rocketeer, especially in the accessories. Multiple hands, blast effects, a blast effect stand, a human head, we'll just say that for lack of a better term. You get a different part of his flight jacket. I really like all the different hands. He even comes with a trigger hand, and we'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, you can swap out the chest piece just so it looks like it's kind of folded down, doing the whole Return of the Jedi style Rocketeer. You got blast effects that fit into the back of the rocket. You got PV's blueprints, Howard Hughes' blueprints that Jenny steals and everything else. And yeah, you get a Cliff Secord head. I think that's the one drawback to this, just going to say. But the stand, the blast effect rocket stand, is gorgeous. I love the way this looks, the way it situates, the way the paint just kind of flows from one color. You got kind of a clear to the paint to all the smoke and everything else from the blast. It's elegantly designed. I really like all the accessories that this figure comes with. But let's talk about the Rocketeer himself. A very cool figure. He has some interesting, we'll just say, articulation. We'll get into that in just a second. But just to kind of examine him, I love the color of the flight jacket. I like the brown that he's got going on. I absolutely love the design of the helmet. The pants are a little bit off in the color. He's supposed to have, and we'll look at the Funko one. The Funko one nails it, but this really does, it's a bit off in the color, and that's unfortunate. However, the rocket is elegant. It has the gum piece on the back. It's got all the different Howard Hughes designed rocket engine parts and everything else. So in that sense, I love it. It's not removable though, which is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, yeah. On the back, you see the different cuts of the articulation. It's okay. You pop the front of the flight jacket off. You can switch out the plates. It simply just hooks in there, and it hooks fine. It fits. It's great. It's not going anywhere. On the back of the rocket, you can fit the two pieces that fit for the blast effect. They go in rather nicely. They fit snug. It's great. It looks awesome. And it's really cool in seeing it up against like the Funko version. This is something that is integral to the Rocketeer, and it's nice that we got both these and then an extra stand itself if you want to go more for that pre-posed flight. He's taken off. I love that his hands have the little mechanism to push the button. That's another thing that was missing for the Funko version, but just in all angles, it looks like the Rocketeer has just blasted off. It's amazing. I love it. Just in being such a fan of the Rocketeer myself, it's exactly what I wanted to see, and you can get him in a number of great poses. Here's the drawback. The Cliff Secord head, not very good. I'm just going to say it. Now, I know I saw like the prototype Paint Master at STCC and it looked a heck of a lot better. So, certain things happen overseas when the painting actually gets done. This looks more like an animated version of the Rocketeer. It looks very cartoony. It doesn't really look like the actor, Billy Campbell. It just, it evokes, like I said, more of a cartoony, not really nailing home the actual look of the actor. But all said and done, I don't really care for it. I love the helmet, but let's look at his articulation. As far as the articulation goes, it's actually pretty good. You can rotate the head to and fro, and you can get him to look up pretty well. I wish it just a little bit more, but it looks down okay, which, not much going on. He does have articulation at the shoulders. He rotates at the bicep. He's got double jointed elbows. He'll spin at the wrist. You can get his hands really up there. Just kind of looks like he's putting on the helmet and things like that. So I definitely appreciate it. You pop off the front of his flight jacket. Like I said, goes in and out really easily, but it stays. It's not going anywhere. He doesn't have any rotation at the waist, unfortunately. And one thing I will say, the paint for the pants sort of chips rather easily at a little spot, and I ended up making it worse. The rocket on the back, gorgeously sculpted. Absolutely love that they put the piece of gum on there. The backside kind of shows that weird sort of articulation. He's got holes on the bottom of his feet. He's got odd T-joints. I'm just going to say the articulation is a little bit ugly, in some instances where you kind of start posing him. He swivels just above the knee. His knees look like eyeballs, opening to and fro. It's weird. Just saying, these are nitpicks, but this is, my honest thoughts. And then, of course, he'll rotate at the foot. Nice rotation there. But getting him into poses is actually a cinch. I think it looks rather natural. Yeah, I would have liked just a little bit more articulation here and there. But for the most part, for what I like, it's a great Rocketeer. Now, we'll say who Rocketeers best, Diamond Select or the older Funko version. And I gotta say, in looking at it, minimal stuff for the Funko, a lot of stuff for Diamond Select. When you kind of pair it up between the Funko and the Diamond Select heads, I'm definitely gonna have to give it to Funko on this one, even though I will point out and say that the Funko is a little bit derpy. The Diamond Select is a little bit, more cartoony, like I said, but I think in kind of capturing Billy Campbell just a little bit more with the actor and Cliff Secord, you got to give it to Funko on this. When it comes to the helmet, I really love the weathering on the Diamond Select a little bit more. The design is just a little bit off, just on the fin on the back of the head, but I do like the Diamond Select, and I think that it's a kind of a toss between the rocket packs. I think they both nailed it. They're both a little bit designed just a little differently, but I like them for different odd reasons. They both have the gun. I like the weathering for the Diamond Select. The Funko one is a little bit cleaner in some instances, but you can't see the gum. The one thing that the Funko version definitely has over Diamond Select is that he comes with the Mauser gun that in the movie, the Rocketeer used it for a split second, but the Diamond Select does come with a trigger holding gun hand. He just doesn't come with a gun. Disney, I'm looking at you, but it doesn't really fit for the Funko version, so if you can find a different Mauser pistol, something like that, yeah, you can make it work. The blast effects, the single ones, unfortunately will not work with the Funko. There's just no place to port them in, unfortunately. However, the nice thing about it is you can use the Diamond Select blast stand with it. It doesn't hook in, we'll just say. You can balance him really well, and he does stay, and it looks really nicely. The Funko one is more in that 6-inch scale. Diamond Select is 7-inch scale. So for Diamond Select, he's going to go a little bit better with more 7 to 8-inch styled figures. But he looks good. He scales really nicely. He's very proportional. I like him a lot. And just saying that when it comes more to the Funko, again, Funko being more in that 6-inch scale, I think a lot of people gravitate more towards that. For the 6-inch collectors, for the Marvel Legends, he fits in beautifully. So if you want to have a Rocketeer fighting the Red Skull, fighting Nazis, all that kind of stuff, yes, I highly recommend him. And then, of course, in actually pairing the two up together, they really fit nicely. It's almost like a Rocketeer and Son sort of deal. So you could have many Rocketeer men flying around if you really wanted to. The pants on the actual Funko one fit better for the movie. And I think that the Diamond Select one fits better, maybe more for like the comic books and IDW and things like that. So if you could mash these two up, you would have the utter perfection of a Rocketeer. They're both fantastic in their own rights. They both have their own things going on for them, so it's kind of a toss-up. I think you're going to be happier with the Diamond Select just because you get more things and you could find a pistol for them. But then the Funko one scales a little bit better for 6-inch collectors and things like that. For the Diamond Select, the articulation, he has double-jointed elbows but single-jointed knees, whereas the Funko one has single-jointed elbows and double-jointed knees. So go figure, it's, again, a toss-up of articulation. If you could just meld these two together, you'd have one awesome Rocketeer. I would say the one drawback for both is kind of the human face portrait. It's not the best on either sense. But I just think the extra hands, the blueprints, the stands, everything else, you'll probably be happier with the Diamond Select, but I think the Funko one is great too. Funko for the movie, and when I say Diamond Select for comics, that's really just going to be the end of it. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Rocketeer. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, wouldst thou drink of my lips? I'm not going to do the rest of that. That's weird. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.